Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open the schematics on one of the most brilliant and frankly terrifying minds in all of comics, Doctor Doom. And yeah, we'll get to the sorcery, but for now, we're digging into the real core of his power, his absolutely unparalleled scientific genius. And you know, this quote from Jessica Plummer just nails it. He's a legitimate, universe-level threat, but at the same time, his sheer arrogance can be, well, completely ridiculous. But the one thing that is never, ever a joke? His technology. So where does all this power really come from? Is it his mastery of the dark arts? Is it the diplomatic immunity that comes with being a king? Look, he's a master of both, for sure. But today, we're going to make the case that the true engine of his power was forged in a laboratory, not from a spellbook. So here's our plan for unpacking Doom's genius. We're going to start with the man inside the iconic mask. Then, we'll dive deep into the cult of the Doombot. After that, we'll look at how he masters time and space itself, how he's engineered his entire nation of Latveria, and finally, what his grand design for all of us really is. First up, let's just try to unpack all the layers of Victor Von Doom. I mean, he's known far and wide as a powerful sorcerer and the absolute ruler of Latveria. But his most dangerous weapon is something else entirely. At the end of the day, his most potent weapon is what's inside his head. We're talking about a superhuman intellect, a mind that is consistently ranked among the absolute smartest in the entire Marvel multiverse. The only person who really gives him a run for his money? His arch-nemesis, Reed Richards. Okay, so he's a genius. Big deal, right? But how does that intellect actually, work in the real world? Well, we have to start with his most iconic creation, that incredible suit of armor. This thing isn't just a suit of armor. It's basically a self-contained ecosystem. It gives him superhuman strength, it's nearly indestructible, he's got an impenetrable force field and full life support. It's a mobile fortress and a devastating weapons platform all rolled into one. The level of tech we're talking about here is just staggering. I mean, even Tony Stark, Marvel's #1 futurist, once admitted that Doom's armor made his own Iron Man suit look like a toaster with arms. Now, when the guy who invented the modern supersuit says you're light years ahead, you know you're operating on a whole different level. But how does one man project his power and his presence all across the globe, sometimes without even leaving his castle? Well, that brings us to the very core of his technological tyranny, the Doombot. Now, a Doombot is so much more than a simple robot. It's an autonomous, cybernetic duplicate of the man himself, and it's engineered to be the perfect decoy. These things are so convincing they fooled everyone from Captain America to Reed Richards, sometimes for weeks at a time. But here's the really genius part, the secret sauce, if you will. It's not just the hardware, it's the psychological programming. You see, every single Doombot is coded to genuinely believe that it is the real Victor Von Doom. This programming completely eliminates any hesitation, so it delivers the most authentic, arrogant, and menacing performance you could possibly imagine. And of course, being the master strategist that he is, Doom doesn't just have a one-size-fits-all model. He deploys different bots for different missions. You've got your fighting model for just pure brute force, and then you've got your diplomat model, which is designed for political schemes. It sacrifices some armor for higher intelligence and strategic programming. But they're not perfect. The Doombots do have some critical weaknesses. Since they're machines, they're vulnerable to things like magnetism or other tech-based attacks. And that really advanced AI, it can be totally overwhelmed by powerful telepaths. Okay, so building an army of yourself is pretty impressive, right? But Doom's genius doesn't stop there. Not even close. His ambition is truly cosmic in scale. He isn't just content to rule the present. See, his inventions have allowed him to get glimpses of possible futures, and a lot of them are, well, catastrophic. And this right here is the absolute key to his motivation. Doom genuinely believes that his absolute rule is the only way to save humanity from itself. In his mind, he's not a conqueror, he's a savior. And that belief? It drives him to try and conquer reality itself. He creates the time platform, a literal, working time machine, so he can go back and manipulate events. He even builds devices to cross dimensions, all in a quest for more power to enact his grand vision. So we've seen his personal tech, but what happens when a mind like this decides to build an entire country? Let's take a look at his home base, Latveria. Latveria isn't just a country he rules, it's a nation he has engineered from the ground up. It's what he calls an enforced monarchy. And get this, its chief export is robotic patents. The whole place is the ultimate technocratic state, built in his image. And if you want to know just how deep this goes, this one fact is absolutely mind-blowing. In Latveria, to graduate high school, you are required to memorize the schematics and the code to produce a core Doombot. Think about that. Every citizen isn't just taught loyalty, they're given the technical skills to build his army. So when you put it all together, the armor, the army of bots, the time travel of the techno-state he's built, what is the ultimate goal here? What is the scientific mastermind's grand design? In his mind, it's actually pretty simple. All of his technology is just a tool to impose absolute control and unwavering order on a world that he sees as chaotic and self-destructive. He truly believes that conquest isn't about greed, it's a necessary step to protect humanity from even bigger threats, and from its own stupidity. And that leaves us with one final question, doesn't it? When you look at all of this technology, the godlike armor, the omnipresent Doom bots, the nation engineered for total obedience, is Dr. Doom's genius a tool for our salvation or for our ultimate subjugation? The line between savior and tyrant has never been so technologically advanced.